And we go. Hello everyone, I'm Catherine Biroy, your personal growth and business coach, and I have just one mission: to help you do what you love and make your dream business flourish. Therefore, I'm bringing experts here with me to discuss certain topics, and I couldn't be more happier than to have my dear friend and colleague Olesija Saue here with me. Olesija is a personal branding strategist and executive coach. She's also a social media strategist and partner at Go Social Media Marketing. Olesija is a serial entrepreneur with 20+ years of experience in sales and marketing. As a former CEO, wait for it, of Forbes Estonia, she helped to bring the world's most trusted business media brand to the business audiences in Baltics. Today, she helps corporate clients as well as aspiring startups and small to medium-sized businesses to stand out from the competition and achieve their business goals through the strategic use of social media and personal branding of the CEOs and employees. She is also helping with in-house brand ambassadors program development and implementation, as well as strategic usage of personal branding in corporate communication and employer branding. Olesija is a co-author of a book on personal branding, The Brand Named You, and I have to say that I read the book even before it's published, and it's amazing. She holds an MBA International Business Administration. She is Associated Executive Coach and a member of an International Coach Federation. Welcome, Olesija. I'm so happy to have you here with me.
Hi, Catherine. Hello to all the listeners. Thank you for such a great, very long introduction.
Well, I need to read everything because I'm truly impressed with everything that you are doing and that you have been doing. And I really want people to know that I read your book before it is published in English. You've published it first in Estonia, right?
Yes, that's right. But it's almost ready to be published in English, hopefully in September.
Awesome, my month. Okay, so I really read the book, and the book is brilliant. And I said this to you because I feel that that's a resource which everyone has to get if they want to work on their personal brand. It's a brilliant set of actually not just information, but like a workbook which will help definitely. I'm absolutely sure. But you know, there is a lot of stories around personal branding. And when it comes to business development and to business growth, shall we go this way or that way? And people are actually not sure exactly about what personal branding is. And I would like you to share us, what is the difference between personal brand and personal branding?
Well, actually, the truth is that each and every one of us already has a personal brand. So all of the things that we have been doing, all the things that we have been studying, how we communicate with people, it actually all is our personal brand. As Jeff Bezos said, personal brand is what other people are telling about you when you are not in the room. Personal branding, on another hand, is actually a set of strategical action steps that you can take and amplify and maximize your personal brand in order to achieve your business goals and perhaps also your personal goals. So you understand your personal brand DNA, what is your product, so to say, and then you use it strategically so that it also will talk to your potential customers, that they would have a possibility to relate to you better, that they would have a possibility to connect to you better.
That's brilliant, because I know for sure there is a lot of misunderstanding around personal brand. And usually people tend to think that's ego-based marketing, that's not for me or something like that. But the truth is, if we present ourselves in the best way we can, then our customer segments or ideal clients will reach out to us. It will not be opposite, and it will actually make our business easier. So what would be the benefits of a personal brand and what everything that it provides?
Well, in order to actually get business, to get customers, especially in today's economy, you have to be visible. And you have to create credibility. And only after you have done those two steps correctly, then you can talk about actually turning your personal brand into sales, getting profit out of that. So a strong personal brand actually gives you very, very many different ways to stand out, to actually position yourself as an expert. You get a lot of publicity, you get a lot of free publicity, you get invited to talk to the conferences, you get interview requests and things like that. So actually nowadays social media makes it much more easier to build your personal brand. So you have to just understand who you are, what you want to give to the world, and then stand out and spread the message. And then people who could be interested in you would come to you, and you wouldn't really have to utilize all of these traditional ways to build your brands like 10, 20 years ago. You really had to work for decades to build a strong physical brand. And even nowadays, if you already have a very strong physical brand, you still have to be doing strategical personal branding online, because I think it's not already present, then in a couple of years, if you're not present on social media, if you're not findable on Google or internet, you just don't exist for certain customers. And it becomes really a question whether you want to live, to survive, and to thrive.
Absolutely, we need to change, and we need to step up to everything that is modern now. I like to share a piece of a story. 2 years ago or a year ago, I'm not sure, Goldman Sachs reached out to me through LinkedIn, and they were recruiting me for their headquarters in London. And what happened is that recruiter sent me a link of a girl talking about her job, like from her perspective, and that was the job that I was offered. And later on, when I was developing my own personal brand, I realized that actually such a powerful companies like Goldman Sachs already are using the personal branding of their employees. And I think that's the most powerful thing, that someone like you, who is an expert in personal branding and a brilliant coach, can help not just individuals, but companies. Can you elaborate a little bit about that? Because it's not just about us who are doing our own business, but obviously if companies want to survive, and if Goldman Sachs is taking that step, that sure is the right step. So what would your advice for companies be?
Well, actually, I think that it's absolutely a must for companies to really understand the power of personal branding of CEO, and power of personal branding of employees. Because I actually really believe that people, even before social media, never actually bought anything from corporate brands. They always bought from people behind those corporate brands. And I see this when social media came, then a lot of companies, a lot of big established corporate brands actually started to struggle on social media, because people can't relate to this faceless facade. They need to have somebody behind this facade. They need actually authentic, real people behind that. And companies who understand that, CEOs who understand that, they actually are much more successful in social media. So I believe really that personal branding should be a part of strategic communication strategy of every company which wants really to stand out in today's competitive market environment. It's absolutely a must that you show people, show their perspective, because that's what customers want, that's what potential partners want. And also investors actually are making more and more decisions based on the presence of people in charge, especially on social media, because nowadays personal branding is a lot of it is done on social media. So we can't really ignore that.
Exactly. Yes, I was absolutely amazed with that. Later on, I saw that the CEO of the Goldman Sachs, David Solomon, has his own show. It's called Catch Up with David. It's like, it's like you see the human behind all that powerful industry and the corporation and all of that. Then you feel like you're talking to a real human, and it becomes much easier to have a conversation. You have such a wonderful experience in marketing and sales and social media, and you were entrepreneur for so long, and you worked for Forbes, and your experience is truly powerful. And now when you summarize all of that, what would be the first steps for someone who actually needs to build up the personal brand? Because you have one, but right?
I really believe that in order for a person to build a strong and most importantly authentic brand, they have to start from looking inside and understanding, so to say, their personal brand DNA, their essence, their strengths, their values, and also their why. And once they understand that, it's actually much easier to create the marketing message around that, to choose the right channels, to build the content strategy and things like that. And if you're not really doing that, if you just going all in on social media and starting posting here and there without actually understanding what you are doing and who you are and what you want to achieve, then it wouldn't be a surprise that you actually don't get the results. So I think that the first steps should be understanding who you are and having a clear goal in mind. So what is the real goal of personal branding? What do you want to achieve? Do you want to become an expert? Do you want to have a bigger impact? Do you want to get potential customers, leads, investors? Each of these goals actually require different strategy. And from the very beginning, you have to understand what it is, and you also have to understand how that would actually measure. So whether for you it's like a vanity measure, likes and comments and shares, or you would actually measure amount of money that comes to your account each month. So this has to be very clear from the very beginning.
I love this. And what I love to say is when I was starting out, it was like a wish, a purpose, or however want you to say. My why was to create a legacy and make a positive impact. When I became a mom, then I say this became personal. And then I gave all in, like now it's personal. So that's what I would like people to understand. The personal brand is not bragging as people think. It's not something that you are doing for some kind of a cause or your ego need or whatever. It's a showcasing of your experience and what you can do for other people. And when people see that you care and that you can help them, they will reach out to you. That's the point of building a healthy personal brand, so that you are recognized as an expert in your field and someone who truly cares and who will definitely do something to, solve the problem or a need or anything else for their clients. And your expertise, I want to say this because I want to showcase your brilliance. I worked with you on a business model, and I lost my mind when I saw what you have developed and delivered. I was like amazed. And that is what it means, that you know what you're doing, you know what you want, you know your why. And if you can deliver that to your clients, they are in safe hands. And I'm sure that everyone who decides to work with you is definitely in safe hands. But now, okay, say.
I want to actually add to you, I see that very often understanding this why and bigger impact actually makes personal branding also easier, because it's not only about you, it becomes about your actual mission in life, and then you can't really help it inside anymore. You just absolutely must share it with as many people as possible, and personal branding is a very powerful tool if you use it correctly.
Yes, yes. And then when you start getting the results and the your why becomes something that is your lifestyle actually, then you give more in and then it becomes natural. It becomes very, very natural, like a lifestyle actually.
Yes, yes.
Now we're going to have some fun. And I invite you to the second part of the interview, which is called Expert Fun with Catherine. And I'm going to ask you a few quick questions. I know my audience like this. I know my guests, not so much. But you have 10 seconds to answer to my quick questions. Let me just prepare myself a little bit. So the first one, what is the biggest misconception about personal branding?
That personal branding is about packaging, not about your personal brand DNA.
Second, I don't want to be a superstar. I mean, I do, but this is a question. I just want to do my work. Is personal branding for me?
Personal branding is for everybody who wants to work with ideal customers and make the biggest impact in their industry.
And we have it whether we know that or not, right? Yeah, that thing, what people say about you when you are not in the room, then you ask, what people? That can be a very different story.
But it's actually also about understanding, when you understand your personal brand DNA, you also understand who is your target audience. And your personal brand shouldn't really be towards everybody. In this respect, you actually don't have to be a superstar. Perhaps your target audience is just thousands of people around the world, and if they know about you and you somehow can give them information that they need to know about you when you are not in the room, then you are already achieving your goals.
Exactly. Don't be vanilla. Be at least caramel with a little bit of chocolate. Okay. So the third one, is personal branding must have or nice to have?
I believe that nowadays it's absolutely must have for every person who considers himself professional.
I love this. I absolutely adore this. And yeah, I'm absolutely sure, because I was working with you, that people who decide to work with you are definitely in safe hands. With such vast experience and such a precise approach and dedication that you have as a person, I'm honored and truly impressed. And I would like just to invite you to share a little bit what we can expect of your magic in the next, until the end of the year, for example, and how people can reach out to you and find you.
One of the reasons actually why we wrote a book on personal branding is that those misconceptions about personal branding. And I see very many really talented people who have also quite well-established physical brands really saying no to social media, saying no to personal branding, and they really struggle to actually to get out there, to spread their message, and it's becoming even more and more important nowadays when virtual world is becoming so important. So I am actually on a mission, so to say, to spread my understanding of personal branding and then try to answer all of the questions that people have about personal branding and show how it really can help every person to really get the most out of themselves and actually achieve their business goals. So I'm sharing my videos on LinkedIn, and everyone who has interest in personal branding is absolutely welcome to reach out to me and then connect. I would be happy to do that. And as I said, in September, book on personal branding, The Brand Named You, will also be published in English, and I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. Guys, as I said, I will share when the book is out, and you must have that. Believe me, you must have that. Thank you so much for being my
And
guest.
actually, the first 3 chapters of that are available on PDF, and you can get them from Catherine.
You see, it's not just, wait for September, but you will get the first few chapters. I truly I don't lightly say when something is good, but this really was something that I find like a very valuable resource, and I really can stand behind that. And truly, you girls did amazing because you are a co-author, right? We would like to mention your colleague.
Yes, we wrote it together with Evelyn Org, and she's also marketing and sales professional. And we really tried to put a very practical, you could say a workbook that gives you a step-by-step process on how to create to understand your personal brand, because you don't really have to create it, and then to market it. So it brings 2 parts together. Normally you would have like self-development and coaching dealing with questions of who you are and what are your strengths, and then marketing is dealing with packaging. Then we actually brought it together, so it's you get like a short business plan, but based on who you are. So it actually helps you to really create an authentic message, because I at some point also wanted to understand all of the different aspects of personal branding, and I read I think most of the books, or if not all of the books on personal branding, and I realized that everybody is saying that you have to be authentic. But how do you actually become authentic if you don't really know who you are, and what makes you different, what makes you unique? And we really have to stop and think about that and ask ourselves those questions, like, who am I? Like, who I really am, apart from all those roles, you are a mother, you're a coach, you are a wife, you have like hundreds of different roles, and how you can actually combine this and show it to the world so that it's focused, and it also speaks to your target audience.
Exactly. Like everyone is truly speaking about that. Be authentic and be transparent. Yeah, sure. Like,
and be consistent.
Be consistent 5 times a week minimum. Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you are consistent 5 times a week minimum if you are producing content which is actually not in alignment with who you are, and with something that will help you to develop your business. So I would say that everything is connected, and everything comes from within, and that first part is actually finding out who we are and why we are doing what we are doing, because I'm not what I do, I'm actually much more. All of us are, and tapping into that gives us that enormous power of energy that we can proceed, even if we are moms, even if our sons are running all around and making a mess, even if we are busy and have a hectic life, we stick to that core. And when we find the core, that's something that, it's brilliant, it's golden, it's something that will truly help us. And that is something what I actually saw in your book, and haven't seen a combination of a personal growth, personal branding, and marketing in one place. That is the value which I perceived from the material you sent me. And I think that's like the most valuable. And then you are unshakable. Any kind of situation can happen, winds can blow from all over the place, but you know why, and you keep doing that. Thank you.
Yes, and then that kind of gives you really this strength from the inside. I remember I shared with you my personal story when I actually lost absolutely everything. Went from a very successful business to being broken and then massively in debt, and I really had to go inside.
Tell us that story. I wanted to wrap it up, but I don't want now. Tell us a little bit about that. Because all the shiny stars and everything what I read to your bio, it's what it is now. But really, what happened?
Well, I actually had a very, very good start of my career. So when I graduated from the university, I went very quickly from human resources manager to a position of CEO in a galvanizing plant. And then I started my own steel trading company, and it was like really growing very, very quickly, exponentially. And I really had everything that I could possibly dream of. But then the crisis, the previous crisis, 2007, 2008 came, and it was actually a quite long process. But in a couple of months, I literally lost everything, and I was quite devastated. And it took me quite a lot of time to actually get out of this situation. And it also actually took me a lot of courage and a lot of time to start talking about this openly, because in our society we like to talk a lot about successes, and we really don't talk about our so to say misfortunes. But it's really when you don't have, so if you think that starting from zero is difficult, then starting actually from below zero is much more difficult.
I know.
But I really think now looking back, already quite many years back, that it really like forced me to really look inside, and because of that, I now have an opportunity to do things that actually make my heart sing, and make my eyes sparkle, because I see how important for people it is actually to understand who they really are, and how often we just are too busy, and we really don't think, don't stop, and don't think who I am really, what do I really want? Not my husband, not my colleagues, not my teachers or my parents, but me. And when you actually find this thing, then you don't have to look for motivation anymore, because you have this inside motivation, you have passion that drives you, and it actually makes you much more happy and effective. Because I actually, when we were writing this book, then there was research by Gallup, and it showed that 85% of people in the world actually hate their job. And to me, it was like a real shock that I really don't want my boy, who is now 5 years old, to live in a world where majority of people really wake up in the morning and go to the work that they hate, and then come back home, and then have a little rest, and it continues. And I believe that this not being happy about what you are doing is 100% related to whether you understand what you want, and how you actually perceive the world. And it also, in case of companies, if you understand what is important for your people, you can help them to build a cathedral, not just put stones, on the road.
Yes. Amazing. I didn't know this part. Now you got me completely. Like when you go to my website and you check out the menu system, though there you will find things that actually bothered me, and why I created the LGM system for emotional and intellectual growth. And one of them was a happiness index and unsatisfaction at work, which are very low. So this is the reason when I became mom, this became personal, because I want my son to live such life that he can choose where he wants to live, what he wants to do, and to be his true self. And now you said the same thing. And actually the first chapter of my book is talking about, I'm giving different kind of exercises to tap into your inner self, to tap into alpha state of mind, and to actually discover that what is it in me which will drive me, which will make my heart sing and my eyes sparkle. And I didn't know this little piece which you just shared, and it matched completely. Although we are doing different things, we have a perfect synergy. And I think that people are more and more aware of this, and they are waking up and taking steps toward that. So guys, if you are one of us who is taking those steps, you know now that you will not learn about personal branding from anyone, but from someone who has 20 years in depth of personal and professional experience. But you just heard a story which is absolutely mind-blowing. She went from a top to under zero, like very rapidly, and she is again on the top. So who is the best to teach you about anything? Like, okay, I went from the top to the zero several times, maybe once deep down, but not as deep as Olesija did. So thank you so much for being my guest. I'm truly honored, and I'm happy that we shared this story and the story around personal branding. And until next time,
Thank you
ciao.
so much. Thank you for listening.